for your
Hello.
hello. Thank you.
Bonjour, Arnaud.
Hello. Thank you to the person who helped you to get.
It was a neighbor.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you to
Thank
the
you.
neighbor. So it's very nice to see you, and I propose you to do this Zoom because I wanted to speak about your work, and also as it's part of a group exhibition. I wanted to give a kind of a direct experience of what is a relation between an artist and a gallery for people who will be able to see Zoom. So, but that's just somehow to give an idea through a direct relation, through an example of what is an artist and gallery experience.
Okay.
Okay with you, and so. So what I thought is to perhaps to show some views of your works here, because you are in your studio, in your house in Germany, and I am at the gallery, but we do not experience the show directly, of course. So I propose to show some images of the works, and if you would like to comment, or maybe if you want to say something before we show the images.
Yeah, I want to say that, of course, it would be good to have one of my works with us. So we have it, you have it in your gallery, and I have it in my mind. So we can talk about the works and the relation to your gallery, of course. Happy to do this. And so I'm sorry that I can't do this this meeting which is something like a meeting in my studio, for the WLAN is not good. How do you say? I can't receive you in my studio.
Connection, yes.
Yeah. The connection wouldn't be good.
Okay. So so now you are in Germany, huh? Because you also work in Canada, part of the
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know why, but so that's the image of the wall with two of your works, which are not quite recent. They have been shown already. You proposed me to make the selection for practical reasons for this show, and so the two works are the sculpture on the pedestal, and on its right a work on sandpaper.
Yes.
But I have more detailed images I can show. So that's the sculpture, the description of the sculpture with the title. Maybe you can tell why you chose this title, because normally you mostly give numbers.
Normally I have only a number.
Yes.
Yes.
But in this case,
that's another information that in this case, the form, the shape of the sculpture, the reason of it is the idea of this two red, this blomb, or how do you
lead and plaster.
Yeah, no, this beschattet, this, what means, okay, but the rouge ombré.
Yes.
Rouge ombré,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the first thing, and how to get it was, so the shape of the sculpture was caused of this vision of a beschattetes Rot.
So it started
Rouge ambré.
It started from a color.
Yeah, from the shadow on a red.
A shadow on
shadow, a red, a shadowed red, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's
this seems, so it needs the title. It needs
yes.
the title.
Yes. So
For normally there's no thing which is first, not the shape, or they are in a, of course everything is in the dialogue, but they have the same weight, you know, the shape, the color, and the material.
So you have no preconceived idea of the final shape when you start to do the sculpture.
Yes, no, that's not what I mean.
You start from what you call a vision.
A vision, yes, and in this time it is very strongly the idea of a rouge, a red sculpture.
Yes.
But the red of the sculpture has to be a shadow, really this shadow and red. So the red on shadow, that was the vision. And how to realize, of course, it had to be a sculpture for me, to make the red present as a form.
Yes.
But which kind of form? And that this has nothing to do with the shell, what people imagine when they see it, but they can. It doesn't matter to me what they feel or see. So even though it is something that the word in German would be schützt, sheltered, something. By shadows, something comes together, but there's another thing that shelters and goes with the thing together, and to make it as a sculpture, the shadow and the red. That's the idea. And so the title, it's very rare, but in this case, the title had to be.
And in this case, or in the case of other sculptures, do you work directly on the material, or do you work on kind of sketches before?
I didn't got one word in your question.
Oh, yes. So I mean, did you work directly from the material, directly with the sculpture, or do you also work with the sketches? With do you make drawings before or things like that, or?
I make drawings.
You make drawings.
But to so I think I have to talk from the beginning and what is the reason or the Beweggrund in German. That's a word that shows more from what it, well, the reason. Yes. And the raison. And then the intent is something very different. It has, of course, they are both together, they need each other, but the reason or the pulse for work is a deep impression received by my eyes. deep, for it touches intense feelings. And they are not fully, what can I say, tangible.
Yes.
Not in consciousness. And to make clear what it is, not I see something and want to do it in smaller or as a sculpture in this or this, to come near to the purely visual thing. That's not my interest. Absolutely not. But to find out what is it that it makes, what kind of impression that makes me feeling so extraordinary, strong, and to want me to do, bring it out, means to come nearer step by step by doing, to make myself clearer what is so special, say wonderful or imaginating, or for me. And each sculpture came by this process.
Yes.
And yeah, was it answered your question?
Yes. But it makes me ask that you seem to know something clear at the beginning, and that you start to make it real at the end.
Yeah, somehow it is I get it, but it's not absolutely in my content though. So I have to find out what I feel to transform it. And that comes sometimes directly. The transformation.
Yes.
It is a visual thing. And I have to find out which combination makes it clear what I mean.
So, but it seems that you never lose track with what you started from.
No, but the more what I can grip, not what I see so much, what I feel by looking at something, and I want to find out what is it that makes me feeling. Sometimes it is a color, maybe this red with this, and to go intense to I get a vision, and not always. I do only something that is the main thing, and I didn't talk about it. I see something, okay. I have a feeling, okay. But the main thing is that there is something that makes me want, that it is so deep, to find out what is the combination that makes me feeling so strongly that I'm touched so much by it. And then that's when I get a vision of a sculpture or a painting. So you understand now?
Does it mean that
the vision is direct?
Yes. But yeah. Does it mean that you also discover something during the process?
Yes, absolutely.
And what do you discover? What do you discover during the process?
That's I don't know. That's what I don't know.
Yes.
I go the steps.
Yes.
It is very much that I receive something, of course, of my experience with different materials, with color itself, with the kind of color. And to choose the material, the form, and those things is it depends first on the experience, which form is simply to realize when it is a form itself that is most touching me, makes me curious. That's the right word. It makes me curious to find out upon a form or my feelings about. So there, it is hard to tell you, but what I can say, it is always new to work with this material, this color, this size.
Yes. And so
And by doing it,
Mhm.
I am much more like a blind. I would never look to something I brought on my paper to make me clear what I want, to make it clear here, to intense the imagination.
But I think this name of blind is it's a good reference, because somehow I had, from what I know from you, there's this feeling that you are looking for something into the darkness, that you want to make it to light.
Yeah. It is like a blind. Now, from the steps with the doing the sculpture, I let me lead from it. Let me lead. And it's curious that it comes at the end together with my, somehow this vision, you know? Is that the right word? Vision? I'm not sure. The inner picture.
Yeah.
The inner picture.
Yes. Yes.
And it's often that I can say I was touched by my eyes, but it is some very deep in my inside when I want to make a sculpture. And it is that I'm silent for a long while, different, some days, or sometimes it is directly, there are minutes. And I feel the size, and I know this size. And later, sometimes I write it down in between this or this. And then I work without thinking about without measuring at all. And if it's ready and I measure only parts to let me know what's about my first idea. So it is nearly just the same.
But does it mean, for example, that you get the idea more precisely after from a dream, for example, after a night, or it can?
It's not a dream. No.
Never.
It is an absolutely awareness of something outside me. Very objective. Of course, it are my eyes, and I look very clearly on the things.
So you never, for example, wake up in the morning and say, I got more precisely what I wanted.
But not by a dream, by the silence of my brain, maybe.
Okay.
And for I'm always sensitive during night too. Yes. There's a kind of blindness. I told you when I sometimes I do my simple work, the simple work with the clay, with the plaster or whatever. But then the material leads me, and this kind of blindness is also in my movings. And I think I move in a different way when I have an idea. I am like someone who is really blind for everything.
But also you the blind make more important use with his hands, and I think your hands are a very important part in the making also.
Yes. Yeah, I think I could do. I don't want. My eyes. That's the main thing for me in my body, but also I think if I could not see anymore very good, I could do with my hand a lot of things.
Yes. So another question I thought is that you somehow described a kind of process or a kind of a way for the making of your sculpture from the beginning to the moment where the sculpture is made. And do you ask from the viewer who see your work afterwards when it's made by you? You ask from the viewer to somehow do the same way in his eyes. Do you want the viewer to recognize from where it began and to where it arrived?
No.
Okay.
But what is important for the viewer is that he knows as much as possible about the material. Best would be he had experience with material.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What you mean to have the experience of the material for the viewer?
Sometimes I have to work with people, together with people who only work with wood or with metal. Uh-huh. If there are bigger sculptures, I have to go there, or that they give me help. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course, those people have a special feeling for the material, mm-hmm. which is good. But the normal people should know what the difference between lead and steel is. If they don't have, they might feel the softness of the lead. Mm-hmm. They might feel it by their eyes. Mm-hmm. They have the sensitivity. Yes. And they might see that the red on the plaster is not with the red of the plaster is not on the plaster. Mm-hmm. The plaster is not painted. Mm-hmm. And they could, if they recognize all these things with their eyes, very sensitive, they don't need much experience with the material.
Yes. So somehow your work deserves a direct response from the viewer, something that he takes as a whole, something yes. that he understands, or that he how to say, that he takes for himself as a whole, that he agrees with it, or that he likes, of course.
Yeah, and what I think that is, when I can say
what I mean is that understanding is not the most important thing with your work. It's to
it's more. If you understand I can tell someone what I want, and he will understand. But it's more than I myself understand. It is an Erlebnis. It is the presence of a thing that gives yes. an impulse which moves you as a whole person. Mm-hmm. And also it goes over the consciousness of people. First, they can know what kind of material is it. These information are important, mm-hmm. of course, about these facts. And then
I will show the sandpaper, which the photo is not good because it really does not give the real of the work. So this work is not really flat, but it's to the wall, and it's really with pigments, and it's something that you each time you make a new experience, but somehow you have different different line or different areas of research in your work, and I think this relation to the wall with the pigments is one that you experience in different works, in different. And maybe can you say why you want to deal with the wall and with pigment?
Yes, try.
What is your interest in it?
The pigments, I can feel them on my fingers directly, and the moving of my hand on the wall, and if I touch the wall and my fingers make my movement, and I see something there exists now, something on the wall. What my fingers do, I feel the wall and I feel the pigments and bring them together. It's a simple thing. And yeah.
So it's a matter of touching.
That's a matter of touching. And on the other hand, a wall exists. And it's a special geometrical thing, normally.
Kind of.
It is viereck, a square. Yes. So, and of course, when I touch it, it has to do with the whole wall. If it's clean, if the wall is clean, I would choose a clean wall, of course, to do this. And so I have to bring it in a shape, and to bring both together, the shape of the wall and the shape of the paint. That's the thing. And with the sandpaper, it is the different thing.
In which way?
For you can put it at any wall. You can. It's not for this wall. I didn't do it. I can do it, and it's not to have the possibility to put things away from the wall and bring it to another wall. That's not the reason. That is something I'm not interested in, to think how put it from the wall. When I want it directly on the wall, I put it directly on the wall. But the sandpaper, it is hard for me. Maybe you can help me. This has really to do with both, with painting and with sculpting, on this feeling of the material, which is here obvious, sandpaper and pigments, that everybody, if you tell them, you do it with your fingers, he knows what I mean. It can imagine without doing it themselves. And of course, the possibility that it helps it in different Schichten, in different degrees of bringing on.
Because it seems somehow that just thinking of pigment and thinking of sandpaper, it seems to be the perfect material to retain the pigment, sandpaper.
Yes. And that's what I mean. You can make more intense pigments and less pigments together with the color, and that you see the material, and so that's a sculptural thing. And the painting is, of course, it is not one color, then it is the difference in color you have, or two colors. It is more not.
But it seems to really to deal with the perception, but in a gentle way, in the way that also the sandpaper is not square completely, and so
Yes.
the visual references, they are a little changed, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so you somehow needs to learn how to see it.
Yes. And that's mostly in those who have, like this one. There exist others who have two colors in different horizontal or vertical directions, positions. I don't know. I have a lot of them. Don't know how many. 40 or 50 or more. I have to look. But there is something they have an abstract idea of a picture, but to talk about pictures, it is hard for me. It's really.
But can we tell that something vertical is so there? It's a kind of limit, because you cannot go through it. You cannot pass it through it. And a sculpture, you can go around, you can move around but when it's vertical, you need to stop somewhere. And does it have something to do with this, the limit, those works? Because it seems that it goes.
No, it is more illusion. Is that the right word?
Yes.
Illusion.
Yes.
A picture has an illusionistisches deepness.
Okay. Yes, yes.
Yeah, it gives you an idea. If I have a small thing and I make a line in the horizontal, you think of heaven and sky or earth or something. It depends on the colors or whatever. You can play with these. Yeah.
So it's something different from the realness of the sculpture somehow.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And it is sometimes that I have this. It has to do with the being of myself. There were some years that I needed to do pictures.
You somehow started as a painter, or am I wrong?
Yes, but I never felt as a painter. I started painting, though I didn't. I wanted to work with something, but it was not painting. And when, naja, it's a long story.
So this one is the description of the sculpture, number 235. Taken from your website. That's why there are the two arrows on left and right.
Yeah, and the only thing which is the problem with the photos is that you can't see the size.
Yes.
Yeah, and so if you read it, you don't know if it's important or it's just one has to try to make it with their fingers. I could tell you perfectly, it's like this.
I don't.
Well, you can't see me? So, and I know, oh, it's like this, oh, it's like this, and it has to be like this.
Okay, but
And
it's rather large, no? But it's rather large. The work, what is on the floor is rather large, but maybe
yes, yeah,
150 centimeters.
yeah.
Yes.
And it has, of course, to do with shadow and.
Yes. So this is another one, a little older. Bonjour.
Yeah, this is still in my garden. Yeah, this is, and the interesting thing is that the sand only moves if an animal makes something with it. A squirrel or something tries to hide something there.
Oh, because the sand is not fixed inside.
No.
Just
no, that would be awful. No. Sometimes I have to make the leaves from in autumn when the leaves come down. I have to carefully put them away and do something, but it works well.
So your work needs care.
Yes, some.
Yes.
Some. Yeah. It's something I can't help. That's my personal problem.
But it means a special relation with the people who.
Yeah, it needs a relation, and if you have this relation, so I think it's a normal thing. You have to take care of it, and if you don't love it, really love it, you will not want to take care of.
That's another one. Which somehow seem to relate to the work we saw before, but which is very different. But
yeah, it's different. So it's me, and the ideas of shape are things that might be near to my personal feeling. Of course, that's how I. Bring things out in this way. So well, this is very different for, you see, there is good to know it's a plate of lead, which is made by
hammer.
This bending, it comes from going with a hammer on it, and to find the and the plasters on it. The plaster looks for its place on the plate. And I help with my fingers to do something that they come together, that the moving of the lead inspires me for the moving of the plaster on it. It's not a moving, but it looks like a moving. It's not by filling it on and it's in, so the surface would be flat, would be run out. That's different, but plaster is smooth, and I can, with smooth movings of my hand, they come together with the plate and the plaster when the plaster is dry. And so And that's something I would never know by a sketch.
Mhm.
Never. I know the size, I know nearly only the shape. And when I cut the lead, then the form, the clear form comes, which is not geometrical in this. With lead, you don't want geometrical things normally.
But it seems that your shapes, as a general idea, if I can say, they relate to abstraction more. They because you can in this work, for example, you can give references to different worlds of shapes of. But you don't want to give, for example, sexual relations or
No, I was always astonished when some people say, "Oh, it is something like this or that." I had never had the idea in this case.
yes,
and even it is obvious later when they tell me it, it's obvious to me too. I never had the idea.
Okay.
Never. Would be okay, but it is absurd for my intents.
Okay. But it's true that somehow your sculptures seems to be like natural organic sometimes. They seem to relate to organic shapes or to, but that's, as you say, that's not your your idea, or I don't know.
No, there are some are different, but let's talk about those.
Okay. So those are, I think,
you as a person, we as people, we have our brain and we have our hands, we have our feelings, and this is all together. But of course, sometimes the one or the other is more on the surface, or even something is in consciousness. And if I have the idea, for example, from this thing with the sand, looks like triangles of steel with the sand.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one. This is a clearly interest in the what happens if I have a triangle and I bend, not bending, but knicken. I don't know the word.
You fold it, maybe, or
yeah, folding, trying, and what you can, and what it makes, what it impression you have by this,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and how they work together if you have two. That was an experience I made with small triangles, small ones.
Mm-hmm.
The play. And if you put the sand in, it makes it's a smooth moving.
Mm-hmm.
And if you choose the right highness and the different, it will not flow out. It will not go away. You know that it helps. It is that you have the feeling this is something the right way. You put sand in, which is flexible, but it makes it. You know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
or not? I can't tell you. This experience that this is a smooth thing. No, it seems organic, and this is geometric. That comes together in these both of these.
So it's
And in the And in the others, let me see the last again. This one. I only talk about, I can't tell you why it is like that. I can tell you that what it is for me, the interest. Let me say different things. I can later, it's only when we talk now, it is clear to me. It becomes clear to me. I'm not interested to find out. The lead is something dark. The edge, you can see the dark edge, and the shadow, and the difference between the shadow seems clear, but the not really clear edge of the oval and the bandit, and the darkness of the lead, and the dry white, and the soft. You have to know that it is the ball, I call it the ball, which is, or an apple, which is another white, that it is wax. You should see it with your eyes, what kind of material it is. If you don't see it, I don't know. You have not the eyes to do something with my sculptures, for they come by eyes to you.
Yes.
And then the red in it, that it is, and the form, it's not only a round thing. I feel it until I have the right size, and it has to be in this hole, not a hole, but in this moving, the lowest point of the sculpture, and it takes its place there. And if you see around and it fits, that's something that makes me happy. But I find something, I realize something that is more to my vision than without my sculpture. That's why I do them. I want to come a step nearer to these wonderful impressions or visions.
Yes.
This is a painting, but a sculpture. I would call it a sculpture. For this is made for a room for a house in Canada, where I lived for a while. And so I knew this place and I lived there. So, and this is a special relation. You have to have a relation to the room when we do something for the room in this way, with the wall and the roof.
Yes. How large is it? So it's
Can you see me?
Yes, I see. It's 150 by 2 meters.
Yeah, a little more.
Description,
I have to have a look, but
description gives 150 by 200 centimeters. And maybe one last thing, if you had one wish for the moment, what would it be?
To make the idea real in the way I hope, which is in work now.
So is it something?
Another work. I'm doing another work.
Okay.
And that's my wish.
So your wish is the next work.
The steps. Each work is a step for me.
Okay. Good. So would you like to say something more, Helga?
If you ask me about my work, I find words where I can to say something. It was always very happy to show works with you in your gallery. I mean, with you, not only with your help, but with your presence, with your presence in let me do and be very clear in looking at. And I've had always a feeling that you have a relation to the work I'm doing, and you was always curious when something was installed.
Thank you.
So this was the same relation I have to my work when I do my work during the process.
Mm-hmm.
That you as a gallerist, you look what's going on and you're curious, but very open to what is happening.
Merci, Helga. And so it was very nice meeting at the beginning of the year, and I will send you the record of the video, and you will tell me if you like it, and if we put it online. Okay?
I will. We'll talk. Thank you, Arnaud. It was nice meeting you.
Thank you very much, Helga. So have a good day. Goodbye.
Have a nice day. Bye.